Hi guys, welcome to the Streets of Inspiration talk show, the talk show that searches these streets to find you young people that can inspire you. And today we searched these streets and we definitely have found somebody who can inspire us so much. We will be in conversation with Sinesipho Tom, and Sinesiphe is an agribusiness journalist, and she's going to be telling us more about what she does for a living and everything that has to do with journalism. And I'm so glad that you guys have joined us today. So let's get to know Sinesipho more. So Sinesipho, maybe you can tell people at home about who you are before we get into things.
Sinesipho Tom is a small town girl. I come from a very small town in the Northern Cape. I grew up in a very, close and loving family. I'm the only girl. I'm the middle child. I grew up as a tomboy, and I feel like that was a very vital, stage in my life because it made me very strong and I have a tough skin. And then I went to boarding school, obviously, and then I lived with like 100 girls. And as the years progressed, I got to learn how to do my makeup, I got to learn how to do my hair, I got to learn how to carry myself as a lady. And I feel like that tomboy, that lady was the perfect ingredients, to make me who I am today. But I'm a journalist, I'm an agribusiness journalist. I'm in the Western Cape. And that's it.
I love the fact that you are telling us that you transitioned from being a tomboy into a girly girl. And I love to see the transition. So
Thank
now
you.
I want to know, why did you choose to do journalism?
Since like from a young age, I've always been an advocate for justice. I wanted everybody to be treated fairly, and I've always wanted to represent the underdog. I saw this throughout, my childhood and, in boarding school. I arrived in boarding school in grade 5. So, I was away from my parents. I was the youngest, in hostel because, during weekends, my grade mates would go home because they lived in nearby town for myself. But I saw that other girls didn't get that opportunity to actually be able to set up for themselves. So I used to advocate for that quite a lot. And then my passion was, writing. So I realized, I remember doing research and watching even Ote Paketa standing up for the underdogs, when big companies are, mistreating people or taking advantage of the poor, should make light of those issues. And I realized that since I'm an advocate for the underdog, journalism is a medium that I could use to fight and be the voice of the voiceless. So that's why I decided to be a journalist, because I wanted to make those issues known, even if I can't change it myself. But if I announce it to the world, then the right people, can be able to make a difference or fix or change or give justice to the people that deserve it. Yeah.
Sure. When you speak about that, I can feel a lot of passion that is just coming from that place of you choosing to be a journalist. And as you were saying that you want to be an advocate for justice and to speak for the underdog. And I think you are doing an incredible job. So now I want us to speak specifically about agribusiness journalism. What is it? What do you do on a daily basis? What are your responsibilities? What do you do?
So agribusiness, okay, so I'll start off by defining what agribusiness is. Agribusiness is a combination of agriculture and business. So basically I write about, how the economy impacts agriculture. I don't know if you know, agriculture is one of the sectors that contribute mostly to our economy, to our GDP in the country. Because our soil is rich. We produce, the best milk, we produce good crops, vegetables, and we export a lot of those to other countries. So that then brings in money to our country. Agricultural sector creates so many jobs. So an agribusiness reporter is basically advocacy. I advocate for the agricultural sector. bringing and also telling the country the challenges that agricultural sector is facing, so that the government can pay more attention, help farmers, because at the end of the day, farmers feed the nation. Anything you buy from a shop, is made by farmers. So the more farmers we have in the country, the more food secure we're going to be. As unlike when there's like only a couple of farmers, then they can lift the prices high because they know that they're in demand. But when there are a lot to choose from, prices will remain quite low. So which allows everyone in the country to afford food. So basically, I'm just an advocate for food security and for farmers in the country. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I want to know, like, because you are in a sector that is so filled with perspectives, opinions, and a lot of research, as I can imagine, how did you find your own voice in that space, like the ability and confidence to just voice out what you think and put it out there for the public to read?
For me, even though I love agriculture, I knew that I could never be the person who gets their hands dirty. Who starts a garden, who wants to tell people how to start a garden. Even if I do it, I just wanted to be a person who brings opportunity. So if I can tell you how, our country's status being declared like a dung status, that means like our economy is going in recession. If I can tell you how it will impact agriculture, it will help farmers to prepare themselves. I'll write about opportunities, financial opportunities that they can access. So for me, I chose financial journalism because I felt like in agriculture, a big role in farming is business. People don't even think that farming is a business, but it is a business. So I brought the financial aspect into agriculture, and that's how I found my voice, because I feel like everything in the financial agricultural sector. So I just decided to be that person, and I rolled with it.
Sure. I love that. I love the fact that you are saying that you are bringing the financial aspect and the economical aspect into agriculture and reporting about that. And now I want us to dive into the business of agriculture. So as recently, I actually saw an article that you wrote on the 19th of July about Hosea, who started his farming business with just 19,000. And I had an episode of a young man, Tabam Mahlakwane. He also started a chicken farming business. So I want to know, is there enough young people in the agricultural sector? And if not, why do you think that is?
Firstly, what are you told by your parents when you finish school, when you finish high school? Go to varsity, get a job in the city. That's what we were told, because I feel like also they weren't raised like that to think that, actually the land can bring you money. I was actually going through a feed because I have a lot of farmers on my social media, from to Facebook to WhatsApp. And then this girl was it's my fan now. This girl was telling me on WhatsApp. I saw on her Facebook post saying that if you can plant, she says that 1 hectare of land that's like close to like a rugby field. So it's like 1 hectare of land can give you 30,000 cabbages. And obviously to grow those 30,000 cabbages, you need like, I think that going to get an office job where you get 20,000, 15,000 a month, that is the standard, because agriculture is a dirty job. But I feel like more awareness needs to be spread about farming, and how much money, because people don't want numbers, they want figures. They don't want to be like in great food. No, they don't want to do it for the greater good. They want to do it for the money. And in agriculture, if I could tell a young person the story, like, I can make 150,000, and a cabbage, like cabbages take up like a couple of weeks to grow. They don't grow for a year. They take a couple of weeks literally, and you can make 150,000 every single month just from growing cabbages. Now you can grow spinach as well, potatoes as well. So I feel people, reason why they don't venture into agriculture, because they don't know about it. Or the agriculture is a negative stereotype because it's a dirty job. So I feel like more awareness should be done to encourage young people to venture into this, and government should also come in and help young people, with funding, because I feel like sometimes for them the biggest barrier is funding. So yeah.
Yeah, as you were saying that, you are actually reminding me of something. I'm actually seeing a lot of young people in my township. They're starting to now sell vegetables, potatoes, and all of that. And I think like the problem in the agricultural sector is that agricultural businesses don't get enough exposure. So young people don't normally see the business of agriculture. That is why I think like the job that you are doing is really needed, and we need a voice for the agricultural sector. And you are serving the sector so well, because I have gone to your articles and seen that the young people that you cover stories about, they are really stories that needs to be told, so that other young people can see like this is another form of making money. And now that you touched on the point of the government's involvement in this sector, I want to know from what you've covered so far, reported on, is the government and the private sector making enough investment in that agricultural sector?
I'll break it into two. The government, I feel like for me, the government is making a lot of promises. Every single month, they're announcing it's the drought disaster management fund, it's the emerging farmers fund, it's this fund, it's that fund, and they announce it, and they announce these huge numbers. But when you start to speak to farmers, to emerging farmers or small scale farmers in these rural areas, they're not getting their money. It's like, I've applied and I've got approved, and then it's quiet. So I feel like the government announces, but doesn't follow through. If it follows through, only a few people get it. The private sector, on the other hand, is doing so much for the agricultural sector of South Africa. Oh, they are doing so much. If you could look at our stories, most people who have been assisted, I would say 80% of them were assisted by the private sector. The government needs to step up, or it should collaborate with the private sector to get the money out there, because it is there, but I don't think it's being used for the right
Sure. And now that you mention it, that funding is a bit of a problem. Also, the guest that we had on the show did point out that the problem in his business is that he lacks funding. And I think that maybe the collaboration that you're speaking about, the government and the private sector, could really help young people in the agricultural space. So now, coming back to you, because you are, in my opinion, very accomplished. Like I've seen your experiences, like, yay. So I want to know, what have you done consistently over the years that has ensured you so much success?
Sure, okay. What have I done consistently over the years?
Yes.
The first one is obviously to believe in myself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you can't even lead. You can't even take a chance, to actually even begin to pursue what you want to. So I'd believe in myself, and then I would leap, and then I would grind. I would do that consistently. So with whatever job, I was doing, or whether it was school, whether it was a project, I used to work for, my first ever job was as a newsreader at PFM. It was a local radio station in Port Elizabeth. I used to study at Nelson Mandela University, and I did that. I left, I applied. I believed in myself that I could get a job. I applied, and then once I got a job, I grinded. And then I graduated and I moved to Johannesburg. I got an internship at Mzansi Magic writing as an entertainment writer. So I would, when they would have shows, I would write like press releases announcing that there's a new show happening, and this and this and this and that. So same thing. I believed in myself. I saw the job post on the internet. I believed that I could get it. I left, I applied, and when I got a job, I grinded. from there, it was News 24, same thing, same concept. And you end up realizing that you're climbing the ranks, and then you're going up and up and up and up. And that's what I'll continue doing in my life. And also, but most importantly, don't think that just because these opportunities are presented to you that there won't be challenges. There's competition, and also there are people who are gonna try and discourage and tell you that no, like you're not good enough to do this, or it's not built for you, it wasn't meant for you. So you have to believe in yourself and shut up the naysayers, and then just go for what you believe in. So yeah.
So what would you say to young people who are maybe envisioning themselves in the agricultural space? What would you advise them to do to be successful in the agricultural space?
Choose your path. Do research, because there's so much you can do in the agricultural space. You can be a farmer, you can work as an economist, you can work as a scientist, you can be in agronomy. There's so much you can do. You can be a lawyer fighting for the agricultural sector in legal. You can be in land, you can be in politics. I feel like anything you can study in varsity, you can work for in agriculture. Like even if you study law, you can work in the agricultural sector. Even if you study accounting, you can work in the agricultural sector. I feel like that is the one. This is the one sector in the country that brings in a lot of jobs. I think it's the biggest sector in the country right now in terms of creating jobs, etc. So just find what you want to do. Find your passion, and then do it in agriculture, I feel. So yeah, that's my take.
I literally wrote down what you said, like believe, take a leap, and then grind. Because I think I think that's a really simple formula to have. And I love it a lot, especially the grind part. You said the grind part, ne? That links with productivity. That's the tricky part. But I love it.
Because you're gonna get demotivated and it gets tough and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then God is like, but you wanted it. You wanted it. You begged for it. Now it's here, you don't want it anymore. What do you want? And then I think about going back. I was just like, there's no way I'm moving backwards. And then I grind. My biggest fear is moving backwards. I don't want to move backwards. I don't. So that's why I just have to grind. Yeah.
Can I throw in just the last question there? In terms of the grinding part, how do you make sure that you remain productive, like despite any distraction or anything else? Because we know that life happens, So how do you remain like productive?
For me, personally, I had an experience in my second year in varsity where I left varsity. Like it became too difficult for me and I left for 6 months. I left in June and I went back home because I couldn't take it anymore. Like mentally, everything, I was done. And then I stayed home for 6 months. And for me, I felt so disappointed in myself because I never failed in anything in life before. And I went back to school and I told myself, no matter how hard life gets, I will never give up. I will never, ever, ever, I will never take a break from my life. If everybody can do it, what's stopping me? Why must I give up? Why can't I go through life, like everybody else? So when the tough gets going, I will try everything not to give up. Even if I have to speak to my mom, I have to go home, I have to vent to a friend, I have to go take myself out, party with friends. I'll do anything to get my mental state intact to continue grinding. For me, that's the thing. And it doesn't matter how hard it is. I can't give up because I know what giving up feels like, and I never want to feel like that ever again in my life. Because it's easy, it feels good to give up, but once you've given up and you see your peers moving, it's heartbreaking. So I would never do that to myself. Even this year, I lost my father in January. People were expecting, how when people lose their fathers, their world just crumbles. But I told myself, my dad would be so disappointed if I had to give up now, and just throw in the towel. So I just continue. I'll be like, yes, I'm hurt, but let me make him proud, even if I'm not doing it for me, because I think for the past 6 months I was just doing it for him, until like I think a month ago when I started doing it for me again. So I will never give up because I don't want to feel like I felt in 2014.
Yeah. So my condolences to you, hey.
Thank you.
But I'm glad to see that you've gone so far along in your healing journey, and I'm glad you're okay now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying this conversation. Eh? I'm gonna add.
Me too. I feel like me too.
Because the last question I said, this is the last question. But now I want to know, what is the vision for Sinesipho? Where is Sinesipho going? When you close your eyes, where do you see you?
My mind changes all the time. When I started, journalism, I wanted to be like a media mogul where, I wanted to have my own publication, my own TV show, my own, just be like, Media 24. I wanted my own. But I didn't know what I was doing. Yes, I wanted to be a media mogul.
Yeah.
Like Basetsane Kumalo, that type of thing. Also doing like, that was my end goal.
Yeah.
And then it went from there. It went to, I want to go abroad. I want to go work in Paris or New York as a journalist.
Okay.
Doing that before I come back home again. And then I got this offer. Like I was approached by this UK publication, and I was just like, okay, this is maybe like a step in the right direction, because I put it out and they approached me and, what, a UK publication? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, okay, I'm working. But I feel like now what I want more than anything is to study law. I feel like where I am right now, I want to study law. Maybe I will come back. I don't know, but at this phase in my life, I want to study law. And then if anything else will fall into place. I feel like I want to give myself something. I want to prove to myself that I can do it. I just want to do it. Something in my gut is telling me do it, and I want to do it. I don't know. There's nothing else I can think about. I don't want anything. I just want to study law. I don't know why. But I want to do it so badly. I think I'm capable of doing it. I think I'm smart enough to do it. And I feel like it ties in with how I always want to advocate for people who can't speak up for themselves. My friend always tells me that I hate seeing other people being mistreated. I hate it. I hate people being bullied. Why are you making fun? Why do you want other people to feel less about themselves?
Yeah.
Like, what is the end goal? Like, what are you trying to achieve? Like, why can't we all sit in a group and be happy? You know what I mean? We've all got problems. Why do you want to make somebody else feel like nonsense? Like they don't matter. Yeah. So I feel like journalism, I'm making people aware, but as a lawyer, I can actually fight for people. So I want to study law.
I think
see. And then see where it takes me. I want to challenge myself. Like, I feel like I've got in my family, my uncles, I've got uncles and others. They are higher, like they're very far in their careers, but they're still studying and learning and evolving.
Oh yeah.
And I'm still young. Why not? Why must I limit myself? True. I had a friend who used to work at Netflix before. She was like a head, she had a head position in the financial news department. Yeah. Yet she still continued to study. Like, why am I stopping myself from continuing and evolving? Because it could take me very far, because I plan to use like money. I don't think I can survive. I can't live the poor life, and no one is gonna give it to me. Yeah. So I need to take it. I need to go for it. So, yeah.
You know what? In your formula of believe, take a leap, and grind, I think the belief part you've got it for the law thing. Take a leap, girl. Take a leap and go to it.
Yeah, that I will. You see, after this, you like, yeah, I will. I will.
You definitely must. Hey, I think you know what, you are just one of those people that I can be in conversation with for the longest of time, because I'm enjoying this, and I'm literally seeing you talk about your career and your life, and you're literally growing up, and I'm like, hey, she's happy. Eh?
I am. No, God has been good to me.
Yeah.
Like, for the longest time, for me, a turn on is independence. An independent. You can't tell her anything.
Yeah.
You can tell her anything. Like, for me, what are you gonna say? I don't do. Like, I don't do much. Like, for me, I feel like, apart from my mother and my brothers, like, like they can tell me, like, to some extent, like my parents can't actually tell, unless I'm under her roof. You can't tell me what to do. But like, in terms of play in general, like, I feel like no one can tell me anything. No man can tell me anything. Like, I don't need to ask permission to do anything. I don't need permission to ask. If I don't want to cook, I don't want to cook. If I don't want to, if I want to do this, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't need to ask permission for anything. If I want to sleep in late, I can sleep in late. Because what? I pay my bills. I pay my bills.
Yes, girl. You keep on shining. Well, thank you so much for taking your time and being with us on the show. And I think this is one of the episodes I will watch over and over again, because I like the part where you saying that you believe, you take a leap, and you grind for what you want. So thank you so much. And to you guys at home, thank you so much for watching. If you want more of these type of episodes of inspiring young people, please do find us on our social media pages, and I'll also be dropping down Sinesipho's social media handles in the description box below. So if you want to follow her, please do that. She will definitely inspire you to better your life and to be good. And I am so glad that we connected, Sinesipho, today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Charlotte. I had like an amazing time. What a great way to spend my Saturday afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time.